So yeah, last year I went to Paris. We took the train. It was fast. The hotel was okay, but a bit small. We saw the Eiffel Tower. It was tall. Wake up! You just bored everyone to death. That wasn't a story. That was a police report. That was a list of facts. And then this, and then this, and then this. Nobody cares where you went. Nobody cares what you ate. They care about how you felt. They care about the struggle. They care about the drama. In your native language, you know how to do this. You hold the room. You make people laugh. But in English, you revert to fact mode. Because it's safer. You strip out all the color, all the emotion, and all the suspense because you are afraid of making a grammar mistake. The result? You are technically fluent, but socially invisible. You are the person people walk away from at the party. I'm Tom, and welcome back to English Adventure. Today, we are fixing your charisma. We are going to bridge the storytelling gap. I'm going to teach you how to stop reporting facts and start directing a movie in your listener's head. Part 1. The Diagnosis Reporter versus Director. Why do you tell stories like a robot? Because school taught you that communication is about the efficient transfer of information. The reporter mindset. My goal is to tell them what happened accurately. Result. The flight was delayed by 2 hours. Boring. The director mindset. My goal is to make them feel what I felt. Result. So there I am, stuck in the airport, staring at the screen, praying for a miracle, and boom, delayed. Engaging. The reporter cares about accuracy. The director cares about impact. When you are at a dinner party, nobody wants a reporter. We have Wikipedia for that. We want a director. We want to be entertained. You are failing because you are obsessed with the timeline, past simple tense, instead of the emotion. Part 2. The hard truth, and then. Trap. The biggest killer of stories is the phrase, and then. If your story is just a string of sentences connected by, and then, you have no narrative arc. It's just a flat line. We arrived, and then we checked in, and then we went to dinner, and then it rained. There is no tension. There is no surprise. A real story needs a shape. It needs a setup, a problem, conflict, a climax, and a resolution. If nothing went wrong in your story, it is not a story. It's just an anecdote about how lucky you are. And frankly, that's annoying. People connect with struggle. If you want people to listen, you have to talk about the moment things went wrong. Part 3. The mechanic tense shifting, the historical present. Here is a secret grammar weapon that native speakers use constantly, but learners rarely use. It is the historical present. When we tell a story about the past, we usually start in the past tense to set the scene. But when we get to the exciting part, the climax, we switch to the present tense to make it feel immediate and urgent. The boring version, all past. I walked into the room and saw my boss. He looked angry. I felt scared. Distant. The native version tense shift. So, I walked into the room, past, and suddenly, I see my boss present, and he looks furious. And I think to myself, oh no, I'm dead. Immediate. Do you feel the difference? The switch to present tense grabs the listener by the collar and pulls them into the room with you. It signals, pay attention, this is the good part. You need to stop living in the past simple. Learn to shift gears. Part 4. Tactical protocol number 1, the struggle anchor. Start with the bad news. How do you start a story so people actually listen? Don't start with the boring context. It was a Tuesday. Start with the struggle. Hook them with the problem immediately. Boring start. Last summer we decided to go to Greece because my wife loves the beach. Charismatic start. Let me tell you about the worst vacation of my life. Everything that could go wrong went wrong. Boom! I'm listening. I want to know what went wrong. Or, charismatic start. Have you ever made a mistake that cost you $5,000 in 10 seconds? Because I have. This is the struggle anchor. You promise the audience drama before you give them the details. It buys you their attention for the next 2 minutes. Part 5. Tactical protocol number 2. The vivid detail. The movie camera. Why do your descriptions feel flat? Because you use generic adjectives. It was nice. He was angry. The food was bad. These words mean nothing. They are placeholders. You need to use the movie camera technique. Zoom in on one specific visual detail that represents the whole feeling. Instead of, the food was bad, say, the pizza was cold and it tasted like cardboard. Visual plus sensory. Instead of, he was angry, say, his face turned purple and a vein was popping out of his neck. Visual. You don't need a huge vocabulary to do this. You just need to be specific. Don't tell me the hotel was dirty. Tell me there was a cockroach on the pillow. Specific stick in the brain. Generic slide right off. Part 6. Tactical protocol number 3. The dialogue injection. Act it out. Finally, stop reporting what people said. Act it out. The indirect speech trap. Boring. The police officer told us that we couldn't park there and that we had to move the car immediately. The direct speech injection. Engaging. The police officer taps on the window and screams, "Move this car right now." When you use direct speech, quoting the person, you can change your voice slightly. You can add emotion. You bring the character to life. You don't need to be an Oscar-winning actor. Just changing your tone slightly and using the exact words, direct speech, instead of summarizing them, indirect speech, makes you 100% more charismatic. Part 7. The so what? Ending. How do you end a story? Most learners just stop talking or say, "Yeah, so that happened." Awkward. You need a so what? Ending. A takeaway. A lesson learned. A joke. And that is why I will never eat sushi at a gas station again. So the lesson is, always check your passport before you leave the house. This puts a bow on the story. It tells the audience, the story is over, you can laugh now. The final challenge. Listen to me. You are not boring. Your life is not boring. You are just hiding behind a boring method of communication. You are treating English like a shield to protect you from mistakes, instead of a sword to cut through the noise. Charisma is a choice. It is a choice to take risks. It is a choice to act out the dialogue, to use the present tense, to zoom in on the cockroach on the pillow. Your challenge this week: take one boring anecdote you always tell about your job, your holiday, your hometown. Rewrite it using the protocols. Start with a struggle anchor. Shift to present tense for the climax. Add one vivid detail. Use direct dialogue. Tell that new version to a friend or colleague. Watch their eyes. See the difference. If you are ready to stop being a reporter and start being a director, hit the like button. Subscribe to English Adventure. Tell a real story. I'm Tom. Action.